have you been on the team for?
Well, I've been on the team since 7th grade, so this would make it my 6th year as a Cyber Tiger.
So, what part of the robotics team have you mainly been working on?
So I would associate myself mainly with the mechanical team because I'm more of a hands-on learner and I have pretty good technical skills in that sense. So I really developed the team through that part of it.
So, what is your favorite memory from First Robotics?
My favorite memory, well, it came in last year and we were in the playoffs at Mariucci and the other alliance pulled out their timeout. So they had 15 minutes on the clock. So my alliance, or our alliance, was already on the field and we were ready to go. So to pass the time, they always play music at the arenas and they had Macarena on. So I and me and Paul Westoff were in the middle of the field doing the Macarena and teaching the whole crowd. So that was pretty fun.
So, why did you originally choose to join robotics? Like, what was the thing that really brought you into it?
Well, I knew I was going to quit wrestling at the time. It wasn't my interest anymore. So I was kind of looking for other stuff to do during the winter. And then, well, this was when I was in Oakcrest. And then the robotics team then came out and showed out their robot that year and piqued my interest at that point. So in 7th grade, once I heard about where to go and how to sign up, I kind of followed my path and I'm still here.
Mm-hmm. So, what is your favorite game that you have participated in with First?
Ooh. Well, we're still going on this year, so I'm going to exclude that one. But I would say probably my favorite game was last year's Rapid React. That was by far the most complicated game we had with the shooting game is not that hard, but how we had to make our robot climb with monkey bars, that was pretty interesting and a challenge.
Yeah, there were quite a few robots that didn't do very good with that because it was just such a hard thing to make it do.
Yeah.
So, I know that we've already done a regional, but how well do you think we're going to do in charged up competitions?
Well, we've stacked up pretty well against other teams, especially against teams that are better than us in a programming sense, because they had a lot more autonomous code ready to go. But I think this next one coming up will do really well because we've already kind of scouted some of the teams. We're shaping now to be within the top 8. We'll see how well that translates into real world, but I have high hopes for this next one.
Mm-hmm. So, if you could change one thing about this year's game, what would it be?
Well, when I first heard about the game this year, I was kind of disappointed in how simple it was. I mean, we already talked about last year's game where you had to make the robot climb on monkey bars. This year, there's no climbing at all, and you have to basically put a cone or a cube on a pedestal and then try to balance on a teeter-totter or charge station. So I guess something that I've always kind of missed making our robot doing was some sort of climbing aspect, because up until this point, that's been a part of every game each year. So I kind of wish they brought it back for this year, but at the same time, it's kind of a nice break.
If you could tell your past self one thing about robotics now, what would it be?
The team is going to grow in more ways you think. We've grown financially in a sense to where we have access to a lot more materials and different parts of the robot that we simply didn't have before. And because of our programmers, they've also upgraded to a better software, and from there we're able to actually implement different ideas and actually use them on our robot.
Why do you think current like 5th or 6th grade students should join First Robotics when they get into 7th grade?
Well, the big thing that all the schools are pushing are STEM, and this is one of the biggest STEM activities there is out there. So I say if you're anything in, well, I'm not necessarily going into a STEM field, but I am glad I'm doing this because there's a sense of competition in it, which is always fun. But then there's also the mechanical skills and the engineering skills and how to build and design and time manage a whole building process. So that part I find helpful, and the communication is key. That's it. Throughout any job you have, communication with people and interacting is needed to be successful.
What do you think is the greatest accomplishment of our team?
Off the field, our biggest accomplishment has been our outreach and our recognition. Because when I first started, like I said, I had to search and find where to find the room to sign up and to be a part of the team. Now we have grown, at least doubled in size, if not more, and we're worried about this year because of the increase in people. So it's exciting to see how, as a team, we're growing and we're adopting traits that more successful teams are doing and have done in the past. So it's amazing to see that legacy, I guess.
Why would you recommend joining the Belle Plaine Robotics team, like specifically?
As I mentioned previously, we're growing as a team. We're not content in staying where we are. Even now, we're looking into the future and growing our team and becoming one of the. We're always growing. Is my main point here. Sorry.
What do you think is the main goal of robotics?
The main goal is to get kids interested in a field. So STEM is obviously their first major field that I would say, but then STEM can be broken up into like the science part of it. There's technology, and then there's mathematics. So everything about robotics can relate to any job field that a kid can get interested in, and it also helps the kid implement like the math skills, trying to figure out where our arm angle needs to be in order to reach out with the given length that we have. So it's nice to see kids taking what they know and have learned and implementing it into real world situations.
What is your favorite aspect of robotics?
Competition. I do two sports, football in the fall and baseball in the spring. So it's nice to have another competition to where it's not just skill that takes it to win, but also integrity and overall teamwork. And not just within your own team, but also with other teams from across the world, as we found out.
What was the thing that really brought you into robotics?
Probably the biggest thing that caught my attention was the hands-on experience. So, like I said, I'm part of the mechanical team, so I'm constantly working with my hands when I'm part of the team, and from there, I excel in learning about how each individual part works, and when we do find a failure in our robot, I'm the person that everybody turns to see how we can fix that, especially at competitions, because we don't have everybody there, especially some of the coaches. So if I'm there, they know that they can turn to me and depend on me to find the solution. So.
I think we kind of already asked that question. It's kind of just like a rephrased version of another question.
Okay, then do this one. What do you think? How do you think first will help?